Look, as Pittsburgh Steelers fans, you guys have got to be really excited about this upcoming season. And you guys have a sleeper on this team that's already impressing everyone. Can't wait for camp to see how this pans out. And if you look at this draft, I think the Steelers, we can agree, had a really clear focus on improving the run defense. And GM Omar Khan, newly extended GM Omar Khan, he followed the first-round pick of defensive tackle Derek Harmon with Iowa's Y.A. Black in the 5th round out of Iowa. I mean, yes, it's pronounced Y.A. Black. This is a profile on Still Curtain, one of my favorite sources for Pittsburgh Steelers material. Check out this article in full. But we're looking at the Steelers already having a reliable nose tackle on the roster in Keanu Benton, right? The Steelers could use Black as a 4-tech lineman. But that's not all, guys. This is a legit, absolutely versatile player, and he's kind of getting lost in the shuffle a bit. And also, let's be happy for the guy. It's really fun to get to know these players during this time of year, and I just really want to highlight this because this is just a really cool life event for him. The Pittsburgh Steelers rookie, he just took the social media earlier this week to announce that he's now engaged to his girlfriend, Haley. Over the new post, the captain reads, "Always and forever, 6/29/25." And Black is the latest Steelers player to get engaged. It's happening all over the team. Fellow defensive lineman Daniel Uquale, he announced his engagement on Monday. You've got tight end Pat Freiermuth and quarterback Aaron Rodgers, each announcing their engagement and marriage. One secret, one out in the open, respectively. And then you're looking at other guys like linebacker Peyton Wilson, pass rusher Julius Welshoff, guard Mason McCormick. All these guys have either tied the knot or become engaged. It's been an eventful offseason for Pittsburgh Steelers couples, and God bless their engagements and their marriages. I hope they work out really, really well, and they're honoring as well to the Lord. And this just some really cool things to see happening in this team. And it's nice during the offseason we get to kind of cover some of these offshoot things. It's always good to get to know the players a little better. So let's kind of get back to Black and the fact that he was one of 2 defensive tackles the Steelers drafted after picking Darren Harmon in the 1st round of this last draft. And you're looking at Black initially as a nose tackle type, right? The Steelers saw him down at the Senior Bowl, just an absolutely strong player, a guy that's going to be really hard to move. And man, the versatility, that's what's being lost here. This is a guy that can play anywhere from any technique on the line, like 0 technique to 4-eye. He's an absolutely perfect fit for this Steelers defense. And he's actually going to join Logan Lee on the defense and is now the 3rd Hawkeye to join the Steelers. And this is after the team picked running back Caleb Johnson in the 3rd round. Absolute stud. And now you're looking at Harmon. He's going to start immediately. I think there's no doubt about that. But I think suffice it to say that the Steelers would love Black to grow into at least a rotational role initially across the line. We're looking at a guy who has the size of a traditional nose tackle, but also his ability. I think he can play any spot on this defensive line. And now you're looking at yet another player that the Steelers can use initially, even if it's to give starters Harmon, Cam Hayward, and Keanu Benton just to keep their legs fresh, give them some rest during games. But I think he's way more than that. And look no more than looking at Cam Hayward. He turned into an absolutely dominant 2024 campaign last year. He got 1st team All-Pro honors. And the reality is that the guy is 35 years old. Father Time is undefeated. He can't hold it off forever. And the Steelers are showing that they're planning for the future here. So they drafted both Derek Harmon with the 21st. Not a lot of picks this year. And then Black at 164. Absolutely clear strategy. Strengthen the defensive line now while giving these players time to learn from one of the best in Cam Hayward. Just a fantastic setup here. Absolutely smart move because it blends short-term production with long-term development. So let's look at what Steelers insider Ray Fidipalo, what he had to say. And this was a recent appearance on 93.7 The Fan. And he revealed that he actually expects Black to get a significant amount of playing time in this upcoming season. Strong vote of confidence for the rookie. I know the guy hasn't played a snap yet, but he's already being penciled in by Fidipalo as having a major role. And Fidipalo, he has a really good track record. Typically when he speaks about something regarding your Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm here to give like an outsider's like non-fan view. I hope it's refreshing. But I'm finding more and more covering your team that when Fidipalo talks, we all should listen. And this is a direct quote from Fidipalo. I think Y.A. Black, yes, it's pronounced Y.A., he's going to get a real shot to get into the rotation this year, no matter that he's a rookie. I think people kind of saw what happened at the end of the year and said that they had to do something. Omar went out and executed that over the weekend. And this needs to happen right now. The Steelers are ranked as the number 1 highest paid defense, and it's a team that really didn't measure up last year. And most notably, towards the end of the season, I think we can all agree that the Steelers actually really kind of got pushed around down the stretch, especially when it came to stopping the run. Some of the defense looked a little gas at the end of the year, and the defensive line, it was really clear that you guys needed to add more talent. And then we're looking at former Oregon defensive tackle Derek Harmon absolutely being a stud, and he's going to help with them not getting pushed around up front, helping them with kind of lacking the physicality that once defined the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I don't think you totally saw it on the defensive line last year. So now Harmon, Black are now on the field. You have reinforcements that can help turn things around right now, but the big question, is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough to avoid like these late season things that are happening on both sides of the ball that are preventing you guys from winning a playoff game? That's got to be super frustrating. Now, some of you guys are overreacting, in my opinion, saying fire your head coach, fire Mike Tomlin. Take it from primarily a Bears guy. We fired Lovie Smith, I think in 2012, maybe that was. It's so long ago. After a 10-win season, super frustrated that we couldn't get over the hump to win that Super Bowl. Actually appeared in a Super Bowl, getting rid of a successful coach that the players were really resonating with. It's been until this year getting Ben Johnson on as our new head coach that things might possibly be righted. I'm just kind of telling you, be careful what you wish for. Getting rid of a successful coach, a coach that gets you to the playoffs almost every single year. Don't overreact on losing these playoff games. Be happy that you have a coach that's getting you there. I think you need to stay the course with this head coach and stop calling for his head. That's just me. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm crazy, but let's kind of look a little more at this guy. Let's look at Black. We're looking at a guy that logged a combined 85 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and this is between the 2023 and 24 seasons. He got honorable mention All Big Ten honors in both years, and then he declared for the draft. So in all, we're looking at 5 seasons of measurables. Posted 117 combined tackles, 51 solo, 15 for a loss, and then he added 5.5 sacks, 11 passes defended, and 3 forced fumbles. And the guy was at Reese's Senior Bowl, headed to the combine, and this is crazy. For a guy this size, this guy is absolutely enormous, and he ran a 5.39 second 40-yard dash. Unbelievable. And then he ran, what else did he have? He had a 1.88 second 10-yard split. That's fantastic. A 25.5-inch vertical leap. I don't know how these guys do it at this size. So the Steelers naturally took him at 164. And then you're looking at Cam Hayward, yes. Keanu Benton, yes. They're going to log the majority of the snaps for Pittsburgh. Harmon's going to trail right behind. I think Harmon's going to trail right behind them as a rookie at the outset. I think he's eventually going to overtake Keanu possibly as the second best guy on this defensive line. We'll see. Fantastic addition, though. So we're kind of looking at Black's ability to stop the run in the middle of the line, initially being his strength, but then it's definitely going to earn him some playing time right off the bat. And here's exactly what Black had to say, and this is talking to Steeler.com's Teresa Varley. I always want to give credit. I've always been a run-through-your-face type of person. I'm glad other people notice it too. I'm a run-stopper guy. So I'm going to do everything in my power to stop the run and then develop in any other place that I need to. But look no further than defensive line coach Carl Dunbar, super complimentary of not only Black's run-stopping ability, but just his versatility. And this was during mandatory minicamp. And saying that he's capable of filling multiple roles up front, despite starting off primarily as a 4 technique or 4-eye guy on the defensive line. This is straight from him. He can play all over the D-line. He'll play over the center. He'll play at 4-eye. Right now, he's working at 4-eye, but we think he can play absolutely all over the place. I think they're going to stick with Benton primarily as a nose tackle starting out. But this is a team that uses a lot of sub packages on a regular basis, and the coaches can really get creative as far as how to deploy Black here. I talked about his size, but I didn't say how big he is. 6'5", 336 pounds. This guy at 336 pounds ran a 5.39 second 40. Absolutely sick. And he admits that his strength is the ability to stop the run. He's an absolute space eater. He eats up blocks, and I would hope that you can eat up blocks at that size and with that type of foot speed. This is a little more from Dunbar. I just love these big guys, these smash mouth guys. From Dunbar. He's a big, strong, physical kid, and we're working on his pass skills. I think right now his strength is a run game, and I think that's the thing we can really work on with no pads on. His ability to, his pass skills. And we're going to see what type of physical guy he is when we put the pads on them. So if Black consistently lines up on the inside shoulder of an offensive tackle, right, as he would when he's playing 4-eye, he's going to find himself with some pretty favorable opportunities to absolutely get after the quarterback. And these are opportunities they wouldn't have when he'd be like lining up over a guard or a center in the middle of the line. Guys, I think this is going to be a really fun player. I think this is going to be a severely underrated player for your squad. He just isn't quite refined with pass skills, but he's definitely got the tools. He's got the athleticism. You can't coach size. And I think you're going to look at him likely settling in at the outset as a rotational piece. Specializes in clogging run lanes. I think the Steelers definitely need that after looking at last year. But at the best, he's going to deepen this defensive line rotation and eventually be able to play all over, up and down the line. And I think he's going to be a blessing for you guys. So it's been fun doing this channel. I'm going to continue to do so. You guys have been great, and enjoy these days before training camp starts. And that's when the fun really begins. I'll continue to be here with an outsider's view, kind of an impartial view of your Pittsburgh Steelers. And we'll talk tomorrow. I'll be here on the Daily.